There's a mayor in Michigan of a place called Warren, and his name is Jim Fouts. And at his city hall, they have these allotted free speech stations where people are allowed to set up religious booths. And they more or less just proselytize in City Hall and try to get people to join their goofball religions. Now, there are certainly some questions as to the constitutionality of that. I mean, you're not supposed to intermingle religion and state. I mean, the whole purpose of the Establishment Clause is that you cannot establish a religion. So when you put religious booths in the middle of a government building, well, that's a problem. But they get around that by saying, well, it's privately funded and we're representing all different religions, so just leave us alone and it's fine. So a bunch of atheists saw this and they said, sweet, okay, well, we'd like a booth too, please. And I don't know why, but they have to apply for permission in order to get into the area. And Mayor Fouts said, fuck off. He had no interest in atheists being in there. And the ACLU heard about this, and they got involved, and they said, hey, dunce boy, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just say, all right, we're going to allow all the religions and other things that I personally don't approve of. Fuck you. Can't do that. Simply can't do that. So they filed a lawsuit, and they're almost certainly going to win that lawsuit if it actually gets that far. So how did Mayor Fouts respond to this? He said, quote, the city has certain values that I don't believe are in general agreement with having an atheist station, nor in general agreement with having a Nazi station or Ku Klux Klan station. This guy just compared atheism to Nazism and vicious white supremacists in the KKK. I don't even know how to respond to that. It's so stupid. Okay. Nazis and the KKK, they are terrorists. Do you understand that? They do violence for a political ends. They are vicious organizations that are based on hatred and based on calling people inferior. And based on the idea that we should have exclusionary societies, the Aryan race, and, Jews are evil and fuck them, and blacks are evil, and just we're going to set up this utopia simply by having the right race in charge and having fascism. Okay, these are the most brutal, vicious regimes imaginable. How many millions of people did Hitler and the Nazis kill? How many lynchings and murders and killings, and how much of a genocide was the KKK responsible for, with across the South just all the time lynching African Americans in the 1800s and bleeding into the 1900s too, right? I mean, it would be like I don't know if you know this, it would be in Mississippi and in some states in the South, it would be like they'd make a picnic out of it to do lynchings. They would lynch black people, and the white people would be having picnics and talking about it. Just the most brutal, vicious stuff you can imagine. You're comparing people who just say, I don't really believe in your religion and a God, per se. You're comparing those people to those people. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. You will never hear on the news a story about some agnostic atheist fundamentalist today committed a terrorist attack in the Valhalla Mall because they wanted to let everybody know that they don't know if there's a God. You're never going to hear that. But what are you going to hear? Oh, you're going to hear a bunch of white supremacists attacked black people today, or a bunch of neo-Nazis burned a cross on a lawn, or anything. That would actually be the KKK. But you get what I'm saying. You are going to hear about violence done in the name of religion, and you are going to hear about violence done in the name of white supremacy, in the name of neo-Nazism. You're not going to hear about that for atheism. Now, oftentimes people respond and they say, well, no, but some of the most vicious leaders ever and genocidal leaders were atheists. But what's the difference here? They always say Pol Pot, Mao, and Hitler. Well, number one, Hitler, not really, because there were times in his life where he flat out said, I'm Christian and I believe in God. In fact, on the belt buckles of the Nazis, it said, God is with us. And over 90% of the population was Christian in Germany, so the idea that they're all atheists, they're not, right? And Hitler was a lapsed Catholic. He went back and forth in his life. But even Pol Pot and Mao and Stalin or whoever, right? They didn't kill in the name of atheism. People can kill and just happen to be atheists, but there's a difference between that and like a KKK guy lynching a black person. He's lynching a black person because they're black. He's killing in the name of his white supremacy. All right? If an atheist, I don't know, robs a store and shoots the cashier, they're not killing because they're an atheist. They just happen to be an atheist and they kill because they wanted some fucking Cheetos or whatever. I don't know. But that's the thing. That's the difference between these ideologies. And also, it shows something that's beyond ignorance. It's linked in with this idea that, well, atheists have no moral code because they don't believe in God. No, atheists have a moral code. They just think God is made up because God is made up. It's a statement of, what they think is empirically true. And also, our code is based on being as kind as we can on this earth and trying to make the best of this life. So naturally, we're going to be against things like murder and robbery and hurting people and et cetera, et cetera. Whereas a religious person, they can actually rationalize hurting people if they say, well, it's because I'm right by definition and it's in the name of my God. So in every way, this guy is such a clown. And God, it's so sad that in the year 2014, we still have people that think like this.